The Boston Red Sox are 3 games back of the third and final wildcard spot in the American League and sit at 48 and 47, yet the team is a disaster right now. They are coming off a historically embarrassing 28-5 loss to the Blue Jays on Friday, another loss last night, and are currently trailing the Blue Jays 5-1 right now. On top of that, they have yet to win a series against an AL East opponent all season long, and with 3 AL East division teams likely to make the playoffs, the Red Sox are on the outside looking in and could shake up the MLB trade deadline if they decide to be sellers. To put it nicely, the Red Sox have not fared well against any AL East team in 2022. They are combined 10 and 29 against the Yankees, Jays, Rays, and Orioles this season, and all is going wrong at the worst possible time. With the trade deadline less than a week away, the team has a big decision to make if they want to try to compete or become sellers. The Sox are 1 and 10 in their last 11 games. Ace starting pitcher Chris Sale will miss the remainder of the season, and superstar third baseman Rafael Devers was just placed on the 10-day IL. On one hand, they are only 3 games back of the third and final wildcard spot and can easily erase that deficit. However, they are trying to catch 2 AL East opponents and the Seattle Mariners, who don't look like they're going away anytime soon. In a loaded division, and with the tough schedule ahead, the Red Sox have a difficult decision to make. After the season, JD Martinez, Nathan Eovaldi, Enrique Hernandez, Michael Wacha, Rich Hill, and Christian Vasquez are all set to hit the free agent market. On top of that, star shortstop Xander Bogaerts and Chris Sale both have player options after the season. Sale for sure won't opt out, as this season has been ruined by injuries, and it's unlikely he would want to hit the free agent market after an injury-plagued season, especially when he can opt into the deal and make $27 million next season. Bogaerts, however, is a different story, and he will likely test the open market as he is in the midst of another elite season, and Boston has failed in their previous attempts to extend him, and it's possible he heads elsewhere. If Boston continues to play bad baseball and decides to sell, they have tons of pieces teams would be interested in and could change the landscape of the MLB trade deadline while improving their farm system. On the pitching side of things, Nathan Eovaldi is a proven top-of-the-rotation arm and has had a ton of playoff success, and despite some struggles in his last 2 starts returning from injury, Eovaldi had a 3.17 ERA in his previous 12 starts. Along with Eovaldi, there's Michael Wacha, who signed a 1-year $7 million deal last offseason with Boston and is having a resurgent year this season, posting a 6-1 record with a 2.69 ERA. Meanwhile, on the offensive side of things, JD Martinez would become one of the best bats available, as he was named to his 5th All-Star game last week, and his market isn't limited anymore to just American League teams, with the universal DH being implemented this season. Boston's biggest question they will have to figure out is if they become sellers, would they trade Xander Bogaerts? As mentioned above, Bogaerts has an opt-out after the season. Extension talks haven't gone well between the two sides, and John Heyman reported before the year he will absolutely 100% opt out. If Boston doesn't think he will resign, and they move on, they could flip him to a contender for a nice return and try to resign him in the offseason, and worst case scenario, Trevor Story can go back to his natural position at shortstop. Reality is, the Boston Red Sox next few games will likely determine their fate at the trade deadline, and their schedule doesn't get any easier. The Red Sox had the second hardest schedule out of all 30 MLB teams in the second half, and have 9 remaining games with the Yankees, 9 remaining games with the Rays, and 6 games left against the Toronto Blue Jays. 37 of the team's remaining 67 games are against AL East opponents, including 11 games against the Baltimore Orioles, who are no pushover nowadays like they used to be in past years. I've said it before and I'll say it again. MLB teams have to make moves they don't want to do, but have to do for the better of their club now and going forward. And if the Red Sox continue to play poor baseball, they need to become sellers at this year's trade deadline.